Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the glass upper plate on a Bosch induction oven. I accidentally dropped a cup on mine and it shattered, so I had to replace it, otherwise you might have water leaking into the induction plate, which can cause fires and other hazards, so that's why I had to replace it. But it's very expensive, and as so I didn't want to pay for a repair guy, so I decided to do it myself, and I ordered the parts through Bosch directly. In order to do this job, you need a T20 screwdriver, a Torx screwdriver, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Two basic tools, and I believe that's it. Perhaps it also makes sense to buy some, don't know what it is. There's like a special paste on the middle of the induction unit. You would have to look that up. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I reused the material from the old unit. So the next step after we've removed the four screws that hold in the frame is to remove the top layer, including the frame, and put it upside down on a table or a flat stable surface. I will now at normal speed show you quickly where all the locations are where you have to remove the T20 Torx screws. Be careful when doing this step that you don't accidentally damage the cable that goes to the main unit. Please note that the T20 screws for the middle unit bracket are larger than the other T20 screws, so make sure you screw them in to the same position as you remove them from. I showed you all the screws you have to remove the brackets from the back. Next, I will show you the screws you have to remove to disassemble the white frame from the rest of the assembly line. This is the next step, but I'll point it out now. If you order the glass plate directly to Bosch, you will get one with the side rubbers pre-installed, so you don't have to add kit or another separator in between the glass. This was unclear at the official pictures from Bosch, so I heard another reviewer had a similar experience. That's why I did not buy the rubbers, and I'm glad I didn't because I didn't need them. So now I've removed all the backing plates, and now it's time to remove the induction assembly unit from the white frame. And to do this, we have to remove 8 screws, 4 on each side, as shown previously. After removing the 8 screws, the frame itself is not held together to the induction unit itself. So you can simply lift it off from this point and put it back on top of your induction oven. Okay, so this is what holds the glass together to the induction unit. It's just Phillips screws and they're all around the base. That's the only thing that holds it in place. So I'm going to show you all of them and then I'm going to remove them. So I was about to take this glass off while the unit was still upside down, but then I realized I saw some other videos of people doing this, especially with older units, and I noticed that the induction units were not fixed in place, which means that if I was to do this upside down and I would lift this whole unit up, things might fall out. That's why I realized and quickly turned the unit upside down so that when I remove it, I can place the new one exactly back on top in the same way, and the induction stove tops don't move from their designated location. After removing all of the screws, the glass is completely free, it's not held in by any adhesive, so you can simply lift off and it should be golden. So I think that what I found here on top of the induction units is thermal paste, but I'm not 100% sure. And I had none of it in my house. And I, of course, was not prepared to go back to the store, so I removed it from the old glass and put it back on the middle of the induction unit in the hope that it would still allow for thermal conductivity. I'm not 100% sure what this is. I recommend you guys look into this before you do what I did. I'm very glad that it all works, but I'm not 100% sure that this is the way to do it. Okay, so now we place on the new glass, and before we screw them in, we have to make sure it's properly aligned. So make sure that all the screw holes are aligned. You have to press down a little bit before the screw holes properly align. I think there's like a spring system with regards to the induction units. The next step is screwing everything back in. Here, what I do is I work from opposite sides. I like to do this because then it's easier to align, for example, the brackets. Some of the brackets you have to push in before they fully align, but it's something that is you'll notice when you need to. When installing the middle bracket, please note that the longest screws are for the upper part of this assembly unit, not the two lower parts. Now that everything is assembled, we can place it back on top of the oven. Please be careful for the main wiring harness so that you don't accidentally damage it. Furthermore, please also secure the wiring harness underneath the white clip at the bottom. Now we're all set. Let's try out if it properly works.
I believe everything is working as expected, thank God. I'm very, very glad about that, because I was not looking forward to take this thing apart. Again. Yeah. Also here, perfect. Okay, let's try the rest of the buttons. We tried boost. Let's try lock. Don't really know how to use the lock function, but at least it responds. The minute function seems to be working. Oh, didn't even know it had that capability. Okay, so I think now it stays on for 30 minutes on that one. I believe everything's working. So now the last thing to do is to set the time, which I'm also not really sure how to do. I think you have to keep it pressed. Now that's an alarm. Yeah, okay, now you can change it. So right now the time is 18:24. And we're golden. That should be it. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching. I'll probably shorten this video a little bit. And I hope that if you're in the same situation as me, and you decide to do this yourself, that you're as lucky as me that it all works.